Canellis Media Group, its parent, affiliates, or stations. VCMG Live is not responsible for any content, information, or opinions expressed. User bears full responsibility for their reliance on such content, information, or opinions.
Welcome to Touched by Angel Live. I am your host, Angel Kinseys. My passion is to inspire seniors to get healthy and bring solutions to their everyday needs. If you wish to join the conversation, please contact us at 1-888-565-1470 or email us at touchedbyangellive@gmail.com. Enjoy the show.
Welcome to Sunshine Senior Solutions, a trusted medical supply company that puts patients first, offering quality home medical equipment and supplies. Sunshine Senior Solutions is here to help simplify the lives of patients, caregivers, and their families. From canes and crutches to diabetic glucose monitors, your health, safety, and comfort is our #1 priority. Call or visit our website, Sunshine Senior Solutions, bringing the heart back to healthcare.
Good evening. Welcome to the show tonight. I want to first of all thank my sponsor, Sunshine Senior Solutions. Thank you for sponsoring the show. If you have any needs for any kind of medical equipment, please contact them. And tonight I'm very honored to have a very special guest, and it's Dr. Paula Hedglon. She's here to talk about, we're going to talk about stress and depression. So I hope you are able to tune in and enjoy the show, and please know that you could call in and ask any questions that you'd like. So welcome my guest, Dr. Paula Hedglon.
Thank you, Angel. It's an honor to be here today. It's like really exciting, and the audience too. Thank you for being here too. So it's really exciting. So I'm very, very honored.
Thank you. So my first question to you, Doctor, is what kind of stress can we have?
There are 3 kinds of stress. Everyone always thinks of physical first. The physical stress is the easiest. That's from like the day you're born. A child having the baby is stressful. The baby is stressful. But also lifting or a car accident, your job, that's all physical stress. That's the easiest. The second stress is chemical. Chemical could be toxins, food, drugs, different things that can affect you inside your body. So that's a chemical stress. We used to think that that was the biggest stress because people were taking so many drugs. But now with internet, they can see the side effects. They don't want to be on the drugs. Drugs are necessary, but they don't want to be on so many different drugs that can cause problems. The third stress is emotional mental. Guess which one is the biggest one? Emotional mental, especially in this day and age. In fact, when I guess it was 5 years ago, 30 days of stress, if you accumulate all of that, it's equivalent now to 1 day of stress. In 1 day of stress, it's like having 30 days back 5 years ago. That's how much stress it is, emotional stress. And what happens is it affects the brain. So that's where we gather all the information, and that's what's happening with those different types of stress. And I'll go into that later, how that works.
You think that has a lot to do with the forgetfulness and memory loss,
Absolutely.
and maybe even leading to dementia?
Absolutely.
Really?
In fact, emotional stress and with dementia and depression, what happens is your brain will short circuit. So when you have so much stress or it's overloaded, and that could be with anything, it can short circuit because the 2 hemispheres must send 640 million messages back and forth in 1 second. So if you have an overload of stress, if a spouse dies or you have a child that dies, you're so overloaded that your brain will shut down on one side, and that will affect you physically, emotionally, everything in your body, even the parts you don't feel. And you don't have to feel it, and we can find it way before you feel it. But that's the stress that you have inside. It can cause dysfunction in your body, it can cause damage, it can cause tissue cells, it can cause all of that not to work properly. So that's where the emotional mental stress. And I'm going to just bring up one more point. The biggest group that has emotional stress, you would think, would be the seniors, because we're on a senior talk show.
That's what I thought, yeah.
No. Seniors can handle it more than the young people in their 20s, the group people. They want instant gratification. They don't have the patience, and they don't have, it affects them more. You have more on taking instant gratification such as drugs or different things to do it. They are the ones that are affected more emotionally. Dysfunction in the family, things in school, and things like in the schools. I mean, look what's happening in schools.
Yeah.
So there's a big emotional stress, right?
Yeah, I heard today on the news, they said that they did a study, Gallup poll with 12,000 people, and the largest group that had stress that affected them the most were teachers because of the school and what's going on. So they're dealing with our kids, and that's why suicide is so prevalent, and drugs too. The kids don't know how to deal with it. Like seniors, we've had our whole life to be able to deal with it. So it may still be stressful, but we have a little bit more experience. They don't know what to do. And if the homes are broken, they don't know who to go to. They're afraid to talk to people, so.
Yeah, they can't walk to school. Like even the little kids, they can't walk to school. They have to do all these other tests, and it's so emotional for them, for the whole family. Not only for the family, but for the kids. So it can affect them physically, mentally, and spiritually. I mean, you see that in every day. And you see, I'm telling you, don't watch the news. I mean, I'm not telling everybody not to watch the news, but the news can drive you crazy because there's so much out there that is so stressful.
Well, just the shootings. The kids have to go to school worried about that. They have to deal with that every day. And that's not just little kids. That's up to high school.
Right.
You know?
And what I'm going to do today,
I have Jennifer on hold,
is I'm going to actually give you some ways to reduce stress, which will help you at home, help you here. And we did one right before we started the show, but ways that you can reduce stress.
Okay. Jennifer has. Yeah, go ahead. Yes, put it through. We have a phone call from Jennifer. So we're going to.
Oh, hi, how are you?
Great.
All right. Is this like a conference-y kind of thing? Like, I'm very new to this whole.
That's okay. We're thankful that you called in. We're here to answer any question you have.
Well, what's interesting is I'm listening in, and I am a high school teacher, you know. So I was just listening to what the person who was speaking was saying.
Dr. Hedglon.
And, about the safety in the schools and all this other issue. And what's really interesting is, like, it seems like the state of Florida, they're more concerned with, what, like the CRT in classroom curriculum and children being taught about, LBGT things rather than school safety, which is really should be paramount to anything, And what they're telling us is now they're going to have like a lanyard with a button that we press, that if something emergent happens at the school, we press the button, and then we're supposed to be able to be tracked wherever we are on campus, and that's supposed to make us feel secure,
Wow.
And I speak from experience that I have had incidents at the school I'm in where it's like I witnessed like a former student pull up and really get confrontational with school staff, and I called on the walkie 3 times to get the school police to show up, and they didn't show up, so I ended up taking a video of the kid and take photos of his license plate, and by the time they actually responded to where the incident was occurring on campus, he had basically taken off and left, And
So,
then they had asked me after the fact, can you give me your photos and send us the video and everything. So I don't really feel like very secure, at my job. That it's a safe environment.
Is there a specific question that you have for the doctor that you want to know? I mean, I'm thankful that you're making us aware of this issue and what they're dealing with, which, you're an adult, so you could probably deal with it a lot better than your students. So we could just imagine the stress that kids have to go through. And I really think that counseling is what's needed. I think, that we need counselors and people like doctors that will help with the stress.
I think if you have a question, but I'm going to answer this for you. I think that one of the things I'm going to do is tell you how you can reduce stress. And I used to be a teacher too, and I would do meditation, I would do with my students, and I would do different things with my students. In fact, they're adults now, and they come to me and says, oh, I remember when you closed the lights and we put our heads down and did a meditation. They don't remember anything I taught, but they remember that. So that was pretty cool. So we're going to start thinking about changing that, and I know it can't change overnight, but if we can get more people to reduce stress I think you'll see a whole different world, and that's where I want to go to in this talk right now tonight.
Yeah.
So thank you, Jennifer.
Thank you, Jennifer.
I really can relate.
Yeah, so
Thank you
I've
for
been
your
dealing
call.
with the stress of trying to.
So you listen up.
Listen and stay tuned at the end, and then if you want to get in touch with Dr. Hedglon, we will give you information that you could contact her. Thank you so much.
That's great. So let's go ahead and talk about reducing stress, okay? One is meditation. So there are many different ways to meditate. You can do a guided meditation. I even actually have little CDs for my patients where they can do a guided meditation where I'm on it. One could be just prayer. One could be just sitting in silence. One could be, you can meditate at the beach. You can meditate in the woods. You can meditate at a lake. You know, all that is clearing yourself, letting your muscles relax, letting your brain stop, all the educated, all the outside information, because you want to go inside. When you go inside, you're going to be connected, which will help your body inside out. And that's where I want to go with that as a meditation. You can do exercise. You can do yoga, like you do Zumba. And you could do, I do Tai Chi, Qigong. It really helps me a lot. And you can do, and exercising for seniors doesn't have to be go out and do a 10-mile marathon. It could be walk around the block. It could be get up and move a little bit. Don't sit in your chair for an hours and at a time looking at the TV.
Or the computer.
Or the computer. You need to get up and move, and that's part of the exercise. That's another thing to do. Let go. Let go of what you cannot control, all right? I'll give you an example. Gas. We are not in control of what's happening to the gas prices, but let go of that. Stop talking about it. I mean, yes, you can talk about it. I'm not saying that.
Right.
But don't, I tell my patients when...
Don't dwell.
Yeah, I have a sign on the door. Only positive thoughts when you come in, because if you want to be healthy, you need to be relaxed. I need to be in tune. I need to be clear to give you the best adjustment so that you can be stress-free. I can't do it if people are constantly coming in saying different things about their symptoms, saying different things about the world. So this is our only moment of time that we can do that. So that's important. Let go. And
that's, you know, that's a great point. A good way of controlling your environment.
Exactly.
You know, things that you have in your house, words of affirmation. I was very impressed when I went into her office, because the first thing when you walk in, it says, don't bring any negativity in here. Leave it outside. Come in with positive. You walk in and there's just positive affirmation everywhere. And your brain, whether you realize it or not, is focused on that.
Yep.
So by the time you're sitting there, you know, you're just reading all these positive things, and then you get in and she gives you a big hug. And it was just such a positive experience, really, that you really could change your thinking.
One of the things is, that's the big thing, changing your mindset. Okay, that brings me to the next point. One of the things I do with the patients is, after I know their symptoms, after I know their problem and the cause, I say, okay, what's better today? Don't tell me what's wrong, tell me what's better today. They go, well, I can't think of anything. I says, well, next time you're gonna come in and tell me what's better, because we always have things that are better. But you had just mentioned about our mindset. Visualization is a really big tool. You know, your attitude, oh my gosh, your visualization and attitude. You know, make your mind a movie. What do you want? Make it a movie, all right? Because if you keep dwelling on the same things over and over and over and over problems, your body is going to feel that. It's going to actually cause more dis-ease. And I don't say disease, I say dis-ease in your body. It's going to cause more problems to your body. You know, like if you were riding a bicycle, they say don't look down the cliff, don't look down the cliff. So what do? Look down the cliff. So when you keep saying to them, I have diabetes, I have stress, I have this, if you keep talking about it, your brain is going to perceive it, and that message has to come down your spinal cord, go to your nerves, go to your muscles, make your muscles tight, and you'll have lactic acid, you'll have pain, and you'll have dysfunction. So that's important, is what your mind. So write some positive thoughts, you know, and if you don't have anybody to talk to, find somebody to talk to, or give your time to someone to help somebody. That's another way of reducing stress, because you're giving of yourself, and it gives you the positive feeling inside of you. You feel like you're doing service to people, and that is so important, because when somebody does have a death in the family, they always say, serve your way out of it. How do you serve your way out of it? you go to people, poor
Help
people, go to a
others.
neighbor,
Yes.
and you serve your way out of it. That's another way of reducing stress. My way, of course, is getting the chiropractic adjustment, and that, of course, is from the top bone in your neck. When your brain, again, the 640 million messages that don't go back and forth, it'll shift the top bone, and you'll have either stenosis or you'll have nerve interference, and you'll have your body, every organ must receive nerve supply, and if it doesn't, it's not going to regenerate healthier. So I can find that before you feel it. Does that help any one of you?
I mean, I was
So-
impressed the
and-
first time I went into her office. The first thing she did was an x-ray of my neck and my back, because that's where everything, all the nerves run.
And the other thing is, this is what I don't like. I don't like instilling fear all the time as a doctor. Fear. You know, I mean, we all have fear. We know as we get older, there are certain things that don't happen, but we can't instill fear. Your body constantly regenerates. It has a potential, and that's what I want you to know. It's very important that you do that. And who do you hang around with? Do you hang around people that, you know, like-minded people? That's another thing is, and when you get around children, you're just so happy. You know, you're so happy, and it changes when you smile, your whole body changes. In fact, one of the tools I do when I speak at different chiropractic groups is I say, okay, think of something that is very sad in your life and see how you feel. And now I say, change it. Now think of the happiest moment in your life. Close your eyes, think of the happiest moment. And that's what I want you to think of today and each time before you go to bed, each time before you get up, and write down the things that you would want to do to change. We have to change to change the world. And we can't do it all at once, but we got to do it one step at a time. But if you can change yourself, then others will change. All right? So we have to work on ourselves first. I can't help people if I'm not clear. I can't help people if I'm negative. I can't help people if I'm emotionally stressed. So this is why I do the meditations. I do those 49 breaths that we were talking about. And I do Tai Chi, and I do yoga. And I enjoy it. At first, it was a chore.
And all that helps your
Yes.
inner person.
Exactly.
You know, we think of stress, and really stress is all around. It's
Right.
out there. It's outside of us. But what you've made me realize is that to deal with the stress, you're not pushing it away. You're dealing with your inner self,
Right.
so that you know how to deal with the stress.
And then you'll have what's called the law of attraction. Okay, so you wouldn't be depressed and so forth.
Right.
Yeah, it's so important.
Because if you're worrying and you're fearful, you're bringing that outside stress into you.
Exactly.
So you have to learn how to get rid of it.
Right.
That's
really
that's
good.
a big eye opener. Now, one last question. This time goes so fast.
It does.
I want to know, how does chiropractic help with the stress and the depression?
Okay, this is really interesting. If you know that people that are depressed, that sometimes their brain it doesn't connect, all right? If you have somebody with dementia, you have somebody that lives alone, you have somebody that, like I said, a death in family, or having financial issues or something, what happens is when we take an x-ray and evaluate the person, the very first thing I look at is the top bone in the neck. And what happens is that's a ring bone, and when that is torqued, because one side of your brain could be stronger than the other, that means your posture will be off. The side that's stronger, the arm and leg will be shortened and tightened. The other side would be weak. So when we look at the top bone in your neck, you open it, it's like the faucet of a garden hose or your circuit breaker. When you open that, it boosts all the energy from the brain down the spinal cord to every organ, every tissue cell of the body, all right? That's how and then people come to me and say, you know what? I have a young girl that just started the other day, and she said, I was always, like, my attitude, my depression, and I was always mean, and I was short-tempered. Now that I've been going to adjust, do you think because I'm doing this, I don't feel that anymore?
Wow.
And it's like, that's amazing. So this is part of it. I can't explain to you exactly until I see their x-ray, until I touched you, to feel you, and we do different techniques. I use my hands because I want to be in tune with you, with your space, and I want to always bring the positive out. That's the biggest thing, because chiropractic is so much of healing and so much of loving, giving, and serving, and allowing the body to heal by itself without interference. Our bodies can reproduce and regenerate everything in there on its own, as long as it has no interference. That's the best thing.
Yes.
Okay.
And you know, it takes work, but it takes making a decision, because some people want quick, they want to take a pill, they want to lose weight, take a pill to lose weight, they don't want to work out. So it does take work, but I like the idea that you really like opened up my mind that it's really inside. If you're being stressed from everything outside, it's how you're dealing with it inside.
And I always tell them 2 analogies real quick. I'll tell you. If you plant a seed, you can't, and it's corn, you can't pick the corn the next day. It takes time, it takes repetition, and it takes energy for that to grow. And also, a baby takes how long to be born? 9 months. I didn't want that, but that's what it does. It's a law of life. So therefore, it does take time for your body to regenerate if there has been some stresses for a long period of time, physical, chemical, or emotional.
Great. Well, Dr. Hedglon, this has been a real eye-opener. I'd love to have her back again, because I think we could talk all night. But we are limited on our time. But I really enjoyed just listening to this. It really opened up a lot in my mind, hopefully in yours. So again, you have the phone number on the screen for the studio, and if you want to ask any questions, you could just call in. We're always available. And as you know, that I do exercise classes on Zoom, so you're welcome to call me, to contact me about my 6 classes a week. I have a lot of students here tonight in the audience. I want to thank them for coming. And my next show is going to be in 2 weeks. I do a show every 2 weeks on a Thursday night from 7 to 7:30. And you're welcome to come into the studio an hour before. So we just kind of sit and talk with the person that's I'm interviewing. It's a nice time to get to fellowship with one another. So on the 30th, I'm going to be honored to have the head of the Department of the Agency on Aging. His name is Don Hill, and he is the director of the hotline. We're going to have a lot of good information for seniors, a lot of good information on everything that this agency has to offer seniors in your home to help you. So tune in on the 30th, and we'll be back in 2 weeks looking for another great topic. Take care, be well, and stay positive.
You've been watching Touched by Angel Live. Please like, subscribe, and share this video with someone you love. If you wish to join the conversation, have an idea for the show, or would like to sponsor the show, please call us at 1-888-565-1470 or email us at touchedbyangellive@gmail.com. Thanks for watching. We'll see you next time. If you or a loved one are interested in joining Angel on Zoom for her Strength and Balance class or Zumba Gold class for seniors, email her at angelkinseys@gmail.com. Have a great day!